Well, believe it or not, it is 25 past bloody 6 in the morning. And I'm already at the airport. Only saw one car all the way here. That's how early it is. The first of 3 flights. Let's see how I get on. Well, I'm here in time to catch the earlier flight. I'm not booked on it, so I'm not going on it. I could have had another half an hour in bed at least. My body really needs this. It just doesn't understand what's going on. Yet another form to fill in. I've lost count of the number of forms I've had to fill in online and what have you. But the airport's pretty empty, as you can see. The aircraft I'm flying on to Las Palmas hasn't even actually left yet. It's still in Gran Canaria, but it's only a half an hour flight, so I guess it'll still be on time.
Y mantengan su mesa pegada. Les informamos que no está permitido fumar, incluidos los cigarrillos electrónicos. Muchas gracias y que tengan un feliz vuelo.
Buenos días, gracias. What a disaster that girl is. The 2 Russian girls, they were in front of me in check-in. They left their passports behind, I gave them to them, and then they left a bag. Then they had all sorts of other problems, and now she's just fallen down the steps. Well, that's leg 1 done. Now in Gran Canaria, waiting for the flight to Madrid. I've got about 2.5 hours to wait. God, I'm knackered already. It's a really long terminal here, as you can see. It goes all the way over there. About the same the other side. And in the middle you've got this little travelator which only goes as far as there. And what is the point of that? Just seems pointless to me. There's a view of the interior, Gran Canaria. They actually had some snow on the top of some of the mountains here yesterday. Unfortunately the cloud seems to be in the way, so I can't see it if it's settled. Unfortunately there's lots of snow predicted in the UK today, so I hope that doesn't bugger up my flight to Heathrow. Next flying bus. God, I'm sick of this bloody announcement about wearing face masks. Fuerteventura here, every 3 or 4 minutes. So that's Madrid now. We're in the massive Terminal 4. I'm going to head to Terminal 4 South, so I'm going to catch a little train. This really is a massive terminal. I'm just waiting to board flight number 3 now. At least I've made it this far. This is Madrid. I like to transfer from Terminal 4 to Terminal 4 South, which is a little underground unmanned train journey. But people are queuing already, so I think we'll be going in a minute. Back in good old Blighty. Well, at least it's not snowy.
We are approaching the station. This stop, B gates. Remain on transit for arrivals, baggage reclaim and flight connections or terminals.
It's a long time since I've been on a London bus. This is my home for the next 4 days. I can't go out except to the funeral. That's very exciting. Standard Premier Inn room, really. At least I can get on with a little bit of work, but sadly my big laptop that I bought with me refuses to turn on. So I can't really do that much work because trying to do it on a tablet is a bit of a pain. We've got a very exciting TV selection. I can make myself some tea and coffee, and I have a fridge. I've got a few bits to eat. I'll have to try and get myself some more. I'm not really allowed out, but there is a garage just 50 metres outside the hotel, so I shall go there and get myself some sandwiches or something. And the only other thing I've got is the view outside, which you can see it's snowing. And thank goodness it's the winter, because I've got a view of the airport, but if it was the summer there would be nothing to see apart from the trees, because the leaves would be on. So the airport over there, this is 09, right next to 09 right, the runway at Heathrow. Typical, there's no aircraft now, just when you want one. Oh, there we go, just landing that one. Just like my days as a teenager, standing by the runway, plane spotting. So this is what winter's like. I'd forgotten, as I hadn't experienced one for 8 years. Just walking from the hotel, which is there, just down to the garage along the road to get myself some food to last me the next 3 days. But obviously the restaurant's closed in the hotel. There's no room service or anything like that. So it's going to be cold sandwiches and things like that until I get back home on Thursday. Oh god, that one's cold. There's an aeroplane just landing. Turkish Airlines. It's a long time since I've been to this area, because obviously I grew up around this area. And this bit here was the Peggy Bedford, an old pub that has been on the corner here for years. Now it's a Shell station with a McDonald's. And I don't like McDonald's, but I thought, oh well, at least I've had a hot meal. But I've looked on their website and it seems at the moment they're only doing drive-thrus. You can't walk up to the drive-thru thing and buy one. Crazy, isn't it? Wow, it's like Christmas. Just got back from the garage with my food for the next 4 days. This wonderful selection, look. All day breakfast sandwiches, they sound awful. Lots of unhealthy stuff to keep me going. some milk so I can make myself a cup of tea. I drink coffee black, and this is the great best thing, a hot pasty, which I'm going to eat now. Well, day 2 in the Big Brother house, listening to Classic FM, which I'll turn off now before I get a copyright strike. Sitting here writing the eulogy for my brother I've been asked to give. The words were flowing, but now they're not. And it's still sort of snowing. It has been off and on all night, but as you can see, it's not really settling very much apart from on the grass. And tomorrow it's supposed to be even a little bit sunny, if cold. So hopefully that's not going to disrupt the funeral. Right, let's get back on with it. Well, just walking 5 minutes from the hotel to get my next PCR test so I can go back home tomorrow. And the sun's actually out today. It's a little bit chilly, but I prefer these sort of days in the UK. Bright but chilly rather than grey and wet and horrible. Well, this is where I've headed to. Heathrow Medical Services, which fortunately was only less than 5 minutes walk from the hotel. So I'm a few minutes early, so I shall wait in the sun. Well, that was a breeze compared to the one I had in Spain. She only put it up about an inch or so. I sat there and grimaced waiting for it to go all the way up, but it didn't. Much better. Yeah, look at this. A bit of good old England for you. A thatched cottage with thatched ducks on the roof. Isn't that nice? This is the White Horse. It's a really nice pub. Sadly, can't go in it. If I was been allowed out, I might have treated myself to a pint of real ale. And if it had been open, of course. Well, the runway at the airport is just over there. And, well, I believe they've now decided not to build the third runway. But the third runway would have been over this way. In fact, my brother's house is just over there in Harmondsworth, and Harmondsworth and Longford would have all been demolished if the runway had actually taken place. The trouble is, for my poor brother, he spent 10 years wanting to move because he had this Parkinson's. You know, it's in a house with stairs which he couldn't manage properly, but he couldn't sell it and buy an apartment because nobody would buy the house when there's a good chance it was going to get knocked down. The only people that would buy them would be people that wanted to buy to rent, that wanted to buy them cheap and just rent them out, and then if it did get demolished they would have got the compensation for it. So my poor brother got stuck in that house till he died. But just take a look at this house. Really sad to see. Look. A lovely old house, all boarded up. Well, in theory that would be worth a fortune. Oh well, back to the hotel, back to my room until this afternoon when I go to Dave's funeral. day, whatever it is, 3 in the Big Brother house. Just got back from my brother's funeral. All went okay. My eulogy was alright. Just got one more evening to spend in here, and then I'm off back to sunny Fuerteventura in the morning, hopefully, provided the test I had this morning is negative. Otherwise I'm stuck here for 10 days, which wouldn't be a lot of fun. Anyway, that's all I've got to say about that. Well, this is Terminal 5 at Heathrow, and incredibly I've come out to the sea satellite, which is where my flight's coming from, and there's nowhere to get a coffee. I'm dying for a coffee. A little interesting fact for you about Terminal 5. The day it opened, the first flight in here was captained by Lynn Barton. She was actually the first female to get into Handball, the College of Air Training, to train as a British Airways pilot. This is back in the 70s. And during the summer break from training, she worked as a flying instructor at Denham, and I had 2 lessons with her doing steep turns. Isn't that interesting? Well, I've got a better view from here than I did from my hotel room. I think if I zoom in, I'll actually be able to see my hotel room. It's just there. God, what a pain in the bum. Arrived on the flight from Madrid to catch the flight then to Fuerteventura, and wasn't allowed to stay in transit. My bags had gone straight through to Fuerteventura, but I had to come all the way out through the baggage hall and then back out of the terminal into departures, through security and all that other faff. Come here, and the reason for that was they had to check all of your COVID tests and everything else yet again. I mean, how many times you've got to test that? I've been in Spain for the last 4 hours. Oh well, nearly home. Oh, it's good to be back on Fraggle Rock. Yet again, we're the only aircraft in. Right, home to see Sue and the boys. Thanks for watching. Catch you again soon.
Hello boys, it's me, This is me.